Hi everyone, welcome back to a new post today. Let's look at the most important preliminary points for July 7th with regard to the upcoming UPSC preliminary examination for 2025. And the very first is about the floods in the Assam Valley. Now let me tell you, the Assam Valley is also called as the Brahmaputra Plain. So floods are mainly because of the meandering nature of the river and also the amount of erosion or depositional matter that the river Brahmaputra carries from its upper reaches. Now if you look at the order of the rivers in the Assam Valley or the Brahmaputra Valley, it's Lohit, it's Dibang, then you have Subanasiri, you have the Dipola River, you have the Sesa River, Manas River and the Sankosh River. From the south you can see Dihing, there's Burhi Dihing, there is Disang River, there is Dhanasiri, and then you have the Koilong River. Yes, so that is the last river which you find in Assam, and apart from that, then further south the Brahmaputra turns into Bangladesh. So you have important hills where you have the Kaziranga in the Mikir Hills and also the Rengma Hills, and you have south of the Brahmaputra Valley is the Meghalaya Plateau, which is an extension of the Peninsular Plateau region, which includes the Gharokasi and the Jaintia Hills. Now the Brahmaputra Valley or the Brahmaputra Plain or Assam Valley or Assam Plain is bounded by Arunachal Pradesh in the north, the Patkai Boom and the Naga Hills in the east, and the Meghalaya Plateau, which is an extension of the Brahmaputra Plateau, the Peninsular Plateau, and the west is the border of India and Bangladesh. Now the most important second issue is about the indigenous tank. So the lightweight tank named as Zorawar, which is named after a military general, a Dogra military general, Zorawar, who participated in the expedition to Ladakh and West Tibet as well. So tanks are heavy battle vehicles. They are classified into light, medium and heavy according to the role that they play, especially in combat. So the prototype of the country's indigenous light tank vehicle, that is Zorawar, is ready, and it is being developed jointly by the DRDO along with Larsen and Turbo as the lead integrator. The tank is being powered by the Cummins engine, and also DRDO has taken the project to develop a new engine domestically. Now the tank has been developed in a joint venture, as I told you, and to meet the Indian Army's requirements, especially in the high altitude areas of eastern Ladakh sector to counter the Chinese deployment in the line of actual control. The unique features are that it is lightweight, it is amphibious and can travel through steep climbs in the mountains and also cross over the rivers and other water bodies very easily than other heavyweight tank, that is T-72 and T-90, which we already have. So according to the DRDO, now the tank is going to be inducted into the Indian Army by 2027, and there are three types of tanks, as I said, and it is named after the Dogra General Zorawar Singh, the army general who led the expedition to Ladakh and West Tibet. The next most important issue is with regard to National Register of Citizens. Now what is this register? It is a list of the legal or the legitimized citizens of India, and it is regulated under the Citizenship Act of 1955. So it is included, the provision for the NRC is included in the Citizenship Act. Now it is a register containing the names of citizens. Citizenship is dealt in Part 2 of the Indian Constitution from Article 5 to Article 11, and the only time the NRC was prepared was in 1951, when after the conduct of the census in 1951, NRC was prepared by recording the particulars of all the persons enumerated during the census. It was created under the Citizenship Act of 1955, and the purpose of the document is to find out who are the legal citizens of India, and especially identify the illegal immigrants, and if they can be deported as well. So the next most important, we also have a National Social Register, which is a database which is seeded with the Aadhaar, and it will include all the particulars like religion, caste, place of residence, the marital status, the parents' name, etc. So this register is not ready yet. And the National Register of Citizens was implemented in Assam. There is a plan to implement the NRC for the whole of the country, but this hasn't taken off yet. And the next most important is about the articles related to the union budget, because we are going to have the budget session and the finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman is going to place the budget before the parliament. So the constitution lays down certain requirements related to the budget in India. Article 112 of the constitution says that the president shall cause the annual financial statement called as budget to be laid before the parliament on the last day of the February or the first working day thereafter. Article 114 says that the government shall present separate accounts of receipt and expenditure of the Consolidated Fund of India, which includes the revenues of the central government and other funds, as well as the money received by the government through the loans. Article 266 speaks of the government crediting all the revenues that it receives, including the taxes and other revenues, into the Consolidated Fund of India, unless otherwise provided by law. And Article 266 Clause 2 speaks about the government to withdraw money from the Consolidated Fund of India only after it has been authorized by law passed by the Parliament. This ensures that the government cannot withdraw money from the Consolidated Fund without the approval of the Parliament, for which we have a finance bill and also an appropriation bill. To withdraw money, it's appropriation bill, and to impose taxes, it's finance bill. Article 270 requires the government to present a statement of the estimated receipts and expenditure of each state government, which is called as state government. Article 272 requires the government to transfer certain specified taxes and duties to the states and the union territories. And the budget is divided into revenue budget, capital budget, and also planned and non-planned expenditure. Revenue budget, now this deals with the estimated revenue from various sources such as taxes and non-tax revenue and also capital receipts. It shows how the money of the government plans to earn from taxes and non-tax revenues and other sources as well. And the capital budget, this section deals with the government's proposed spending on various capital projects such as your infrastructure development, capital investment in public sector enterprises and other long-term investment. It also shows how much money the government plans to spend on long-term projects like building new roads, bridges and airports. And planned and non-planned expenditure separates the expenditure into two parts, that's planned expenditure and non-planned expenditure. Planned expenditure includes the funds allocated for specific government schemes, while non-planned expenditure includes regular expenses like your salaries, pensions and the administrative costs. Now the fiscal deficit, now budget also includes the estimates of the fiscal deficit, which is the difference between the government's total expenditure and the total revenue. The government aims to reduce the fiscal deficit to maintain financial stability. And tax proposals, the budget also includes proposals for change in tax laws and tax rates, which can have a significant impact on the businesses and individuals. And it is the finance bill which imposes the taxes on the citizen. Coming to the next most important issues about the election of the president, new president Masood Pezeshkian. So the supreme leader, now let's look at some of the important points about the role of the supreme leader, who is actually the head of the state, and the president of Iran is the head of the government. So the supreme leader is called as Rahbar. Now the leader of the revolution or supreme leadership authority is the head of the state, and presently he is Ayatollah Al-Khamenei, and he is responsible for supervision of the policy. The president has limited powers compared to Rahbar. Key ministers are selected with the Rahbar's agreement, and they have the ultimate say in the foreign policy. The Rahbar is directly involved in ministerial appointments of defense, intelligence, foreign affairs, as well as top ministers after submission of the candidates from the president. Now the regional policy is directly controlled by the Rahbar. The Rahbar plays a very, very important role, and the president is second in rank to the supreme leader or the Rahbar. So the the regional policy is directly controlled by the Rahbar or the supreme leader, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs task limited to protocols and ceremonial occasions only. Now ambassadors to the Arab countries, for example, are chosen by the Quds force, which directly reports to the Rahbar. The Rahbar can also order laws to be amended, and he is also the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, controls the military intelligence, security operations, and has the sole power to declare war and peace. The heads of the judiciary, the state radio, the television network, commanders of police and the military, and the members of the Guardian Council are appointed by the Rahbar. Now the Assembly of Experts is responsible for electing the Rahbar and has the power to dismiss him on the basis of qualification and also popular esteem. To date, the Assembly of Experts has not challenged any of the Rahbar's decision or attempted to dismiss him. And the previous head of the judicial system, Sadiq Larijani, appointed by the Rahbar, said it was illegal for the Assembly of Experts to supervise the Rahbar. So this is about the important role played by the Supreme Leader, the Rahbar, and also how the Assembly of Experts are responsible for electing him. So the next most important issues with regard to Good Friday Agreement. Now this is called it is also called as the Belfast Agreement, and it is a pair of agreements that was signed in 1998 to end all of the violence, especially in Northern Ireland, since the 1960s. It is a major development with regard to North Ireland peace process in the year 1990s. Now it is made up of a multi-party agreement between most of North Ireland's political parties and the British-Irish agreement between the British and the Irish governments. North Ireland's present devolved system of government is based on this agreement, also called as the Good Friday Agreement or the Belfast Agreement. Issues related to sovereignty, governance, military, paramilitary groups, justice, policy, policing are central to the agreement. It restores self-government to Northern Ireland on the basis of power sharing and also acceptance of the principle of consent. So this is most important. The agreement has also created a number of institutions between the Northern Ireland and Ireland, that is the South, and between Ireland and United Kingdom. The next most important issues with regard to AUKUS, it is a trilateral security partnership for the Indo-Pacific region between Australia, UK and US, and it was announced very recently in 2021. It provides the involvement of US, UK and Australia in acquiring nuclear powered submarines. So the last issue is about Colombo Security Conclave. Now recently Bangladesh has been inducted into the fold as a 5th member, and our very own Deputy National Security Advisor was hosted virtually by Mauritius, and the existing members, we are a part of the Colombo Security Conclave. We, along with Sri Lanka, Mauritius and Maldives, are 4 members, and Bangladesh has now become the 5th member. Seychelles is the observer state. The Colombo Security Conclave was established in 2020 when India, Sri Lanka and Maldives agreed to expand the scope of the trilateral meeting on maritime cooperation. Now the Mauritius joined the conclave at the 5th meeting in the grouping in Mali in 2022. So formed in 2020, we have Bangladesh as the 5th member along with India, Sri Lanka, Mauritius and Maldives. So these are the most important issues I thought I should track for you for June 7th. And if you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video, and I shall see you tomorrow in another most important post for July 8th. Until then, it's very happy learning.